This is the ultimate guide, and I'm not sugarcoating and I am not exaggerating for clickbait. Today, I'm going to go over a treasure trove of advice, proven advice that I have put to work in my own business to build a sustainable six-figure income every single year as a freelance copywriter. But this fits for all freelance niches and specialties. So trust me, if you're serious about building a sustainable, real stream of income, doing what you love, you need to hear all of this. All of this. And I'm not holding back. Hey, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the very first time. All around, welcome. I'm carrieblogger, a career freelancer on Fiverr.com, where I've been selling as a Fiverr Pro verified copywriter for about the past 8 years. And in today's Freelance Friday video, I am so excited to be sharing with you a super in-depth ultimate guide on how to get impressions, clicks, inquiry messages, and ultimately orders. Fiverr is one of the biggest, fastest growing, and most lucrative platforms for global freelancers, and especially for those who are making top dollar sustainable incomes. I do it personally, and this whole guide is going to help you do the same. But before we can get into that, we have to announce this week's Blogger of the Week. If you would like to be the Blogger of the Week, just like Nathan Collins, all you have to do is drop a comment down below and you might get picked. There's also a graduation ceremony happening near my house, so if you hear cheers and screams and pomp and circumstance, congrats to the graduates, but I'm really hoping that my mic just picks up me. Okay, this video is long. Like I said, you know it, I know it, it's okay. I have included timestamps throughout so you can easily hop around to different parts of the video, find sections you need to rewatch, but please stick with me. I swear this information is valuable and guaranteed to work for you. And when you're done, please be sure to check out the other videos across my channel. I have so many videos with advice posted for you that take a deeper dive into many of these topics that I talk about in my brief introduction throughout this guide. And don't forget to subscribe for notifications every Freelance Friday when I post. You will not want to miss it. It's completely free and it helps me out a lot, so thank you so much. And one final super fast disclaimer, I swear, this video and all of my content in general is for sellers who are serious about building a real business and have sellable professional skills. So if you're looking for that get rich quick content, you're looking for that, hustle culture scam content, just go ahead and click off. No hard feelings, but this video is not for you. You're still here? Awesome. I am so glad to have you. Let's get down to business. Like I said, this is the ultimate guide. I'm not holding anything back, and I truly, truly believe that if you put this into action, you will be successful just like me. Big part number one, how to get impressions. Impressions, also known as views, relates to your position in the search rank. Whether that is someone typing in the search bar, whether that is them clicking through categories, whether they're following the drop-down menu, or maybe they're using some of the other built-in search tools around the site. Doesn't matter, when their eyes get on you, it is counted as an impression. And your impressions are listed under each individual gig, which you can find on the gigs tab of your upper menu. And that is the total number of people who are seeing your service, like I said. Even if it's just a teeny little card. This is your very first split-second opportunity to create a first impression, catch their attention, and convince them to click. So getting ranked highly, being visible in the search position, depends on so many factors. It takes time, and it's also not a permanent or even linear kind of thing. Just because you achieve a good search rank doesn't mean it's going to last, doesn't mean it's going to stick there. It is completely normal to see instability in your gig, whether you're just starting out or potentially you had a good search rank and all of a sudden things are going downhill, you're not sure what's happening. Like I said, instability is completely normal. Ideally, you should create a set of gigs that work together cohesively, not only because that uplifts your professional persona, but also because ideally you want something to always be popular, even when other things are taking a little bit of a dive. So instability is normal, proof, case in point, done. Do I panic when things dip and slide? No, neither should you. And don't listen to those conspiracy theorists in the forums. Oh my God, just ignore the forums altogether. Who will say that by updating your gig or changing your metadata, you're gonna get shadow banned, the platform's gonna ban you forever, you're never gonna get linked again. Trust me, in my 8 years of experience, just if something needs to be changed, change it. Just don't play games, do what's good, and things will work out just fine. Okay, so that's kind of the background on impressions. Let's get into my top tips on how to get ranked highly and maximize those impressions. And when I mean ultimate guide, I mean ultimate guide. I'm not cutting corners here. We're gonna talk about all of it. So first up, the gig title. Ideally, you're gonna wanna include the top keyword that people are searching for to find your service. And this should be written for real humans, not bots. Because this, again, is what is showing to humans in search, and this is one of the most important things that they're going to see. Also, Little known fact, keep in mind that the first gig title that you set when creating your gig is going to create the URL for that gig. So if you pick a really stupid title or something unrelated, or you have a blatant typo, that silly little mistake is going to follow you every single time that you copy and paste your gig link. So be careful and purposeful about what you choose. But Carrie, how do I choose my keywords, you say? Really quickly, I'm gonna make this so simple, so fast. Number one, you're gonna wanna brainstorm the things that your clients are calling your service, the things that they're going to be searching for to find your service. It's not your job title, it's not what you call yourself, it's not the skills you have, it's not the long-winded way that you explain what you do to strangers. All it is the literal name of the service that you're offering and what people are searching for. Then, number two, you're going to write down a list of the keywords that you see other sellers using in your target category, but also keep in mind that just because someone is doing a good job in search or has a lot of reviews doesn't necessarily mean that their keyword strategy is on point. Like I said, there are a lot of features to consider, but go ahead and write down the keywords that other people are using. You're also going to want to look in a private browser, that's how you say that, for Fiverr's autofill feature to see the keywords that pop up when you partially put in the keywords that you're thinking of. And number three, you're going to run that list through a free search volume tool. I personally use searchvolume.io. I don't see anyone talking about it. It is such a fantastic tool. It is super easy to use, ridiculously easy, completely free. And all it does is sorts and ranks your keywords by volume. As a new seller trying to break into a saturated category, I definitely recommend picking one of those mid-tier kinds of keywords that clearly have interest and search potential, but are not the oversaturated ones that all of your competitors are hogging at the top of the list. Okay, continuing on. Thing number two, you're going to write your SEO title. This is what you do write for bots because this is not visible to humans, outward-facing clients in search. Also, this is a bit of a hidden drop-down feature, so if you don't actually click on SEO title, you won't see the line for it and you might be missing it. Big missed opportunity. Number three, make sure that you're selling in the right category. This sounds like such a no-brainer, but a ton of the clients that I consult with, other freelancers who want my advice and help, many of them are not selling in the correct category. If you are unsure, go into a private browser again and walk your way through all those categories and see what the options are, see where they're located, and see which one is the best fit for you. Also, the categories do tend to change fairly frequently, and there are a lot of new ones added all the time. So make sure to check in regularly and make sure that if something new pops up that is a better fit and might even have, less competition in a new category, that you're taking advantage of that. Number four, the gig metadata is super simple. Most of the categories don't have that many settings to choose. And honestly, most of them aren't even really that good of a fit, but don't skip it. Essentially what this is you're filling out and matching the search toggles that clients can choose to narrow down their search options when they're looking for a gig. Number five, search tags. These are super minimal. You can only have 5 of them, but make sure you are using all 5 because it's really important. Here you're going to, again, match the words that people are using to find you. This is where those keywords are going. And if an autofill option pops up that is spelled incorrectly, this happens pretty frequently, don't spell it incorrectly, just write it correctly and it will pop up the correct answer for you. Keep in mind that these post publicly on your gig description page, so especially if you're in the writing category, why in the world would you just follow along with an autofill feature that is blatantly spelled wrong? That's gonna make you look dumb. Don't do it. Number 6. Pricing. The platform 100% prioritizes listings that use these 3 tiers. Absolutely no question. I've been selling on Fiverr since 2013. That is way back in the day when it was literally only $5 gigs. That was where the name came from. You didn't have package tiers. You only had one $5 gig. And I actually remember back in the Stone Age when they first initiated that feature, and immediately they were saying, use it. We are prioritizing gigs that use it. And that, I guarantee, is continuing today. If you're not using all 3 package tiers, that is a huge problem. A huge something against you. A huge strike against you in terms of the algorithm. Check out the video linked in the description below about upselling with your package tiers. Number 7, make sure to match your delivery time with the search toggles and parameters that customers are seeing on the outside. For example, I think it would be infinitely better for your strategy to set your gig to 3-day delivery instead of 4. Why? Well, because if someone selects up to 7 days in the search parameters to narrow their search down, that is not the kind of buyer that clearly has a deadline. They don't really prioritize the delivery period as much. So a 4-day delivery for them isn't as important as up to the 3-day category. And then when you hit within that 3-day window, you are clearly meeting the deadline that they care about. Number 8, the description and FAQ. This is your time to shine. Make sure to fill them out correctly and with keywords. Again, written for humans, not bots. And even if you think that you don't need to use the FAQ tool, trust me, you do. And the site will prioritize the gigs and sellers that do. Tick the box. Number 9, I'm almost running out of fingers here. I might sound repetitive. Honestly, it's not rocket science, but do make sure that you are also using the order requirement section as fully you're allowed to. This is another tool that I remember when they launched back in the day. You used to only have one little questionnaire form, and now you're allowed to have individual questions and set it up more like a survey. It was a big deal when they released that feature, the improvement for sellers to help facilitate better outcomes, and I know that the platform will prioritize people who use it effectively. And it's just yet another way that you can show this robot algorithm that you are fully prepared, you're set up for client success, and that you are dedicated to using all of the features that the platform is giving you. And again, you should be taking advantage of these features for your end clients, not just and only to appease the robots. Always frame everything with how you can create the most clear experience and the best communication for your clients. Check the video linked in the description below for more information about order requirements and how to get a clear brief. Number 10, literally on my fingers here. And can you guess what I'm gonna say about the last part of your gig setup? Yep, use all 3 image slots and include a video. A video alone can increase your conversions by 40%. That's huge. And I'm also gonna add attached documents. I'm currently not using documents because up until I literally was writing the script for this and I looked back at the section again, it used to say, not really recommended unless you have to use it. They've now changed that and now they do recommend that you use it, so I'm going to use it. If it's recommended by the platform, they're doing that for a reason. The algorithm will support it and you should too. Check out the video in the description link below for more information about best practices with gig videos and photos. Okay, here's the ultimate summary for this whole section. If you want the Fiverr algorithm gods to smile upon you, then just listen when they release a feature or tool that they clearly are prioritizing, they clearly believe will help improve outcomes for your clients, and then use it. Tick every backend box for them. Set yourself up like a pro, and the algorithm will reward you for it. You will get a better search rank, I guarantee, as much as I can guarantee as an outsider, not knowing your situation, you know. Okay, so let's say that you have done that flawlessly. You think it's flawless, but you're still not getting any impressions. What do? There may be a couple of issues here to address. Number 1, I would say that maybe your service area is just too niche. Maybe there's literally not an audience for it. For example, if you're selling services as a graduate level researcher for geologists, like you probably don't have hundreds or thousands of geologists even looking for that service on Fiverr. It doesn't really matter if there's no competition because there's really no audience. So to fix that, you're gonna need to make it broader, see how you can apply those skills in more, accessible, necessary, needed, I don't know what word I'm looking for, ways. And I also recommend trying to attract a more corporate client because Fiverr attracts more business projects than personal projects. That's how the platform works. And with Fiverr Business, subsection of Fiverr that they are strongly promoting, they want to increase that trend on the platform. And check out the video linked in the description below about how to pick a niche and what to sell on Fiverr. Number 2 issue you might have, are things just spelled wrong? I know that's like such a dumb thing to say, but honestly, it happens all the time. I see this so often. Like if you're selling Lugo de Zine, and that would make sense why no one is searching for that. And the same thing goes if you're using the wrong search tags. Maybe not even necessarily spelled wrong, but just wrong. So the other day I consulted with an article writer who was having trouble getting impressions, and one of their 5, you only get 5, one of their 5 search tags was WordPress blogs. And they thought that was a good fit. But if you go look for WordPress blogs in search, you're gonna see that all of the people that show up are designers who are designing blogs on WordPress. The people who are using that search tag are not looking for an article writer. So that is not a good fit and it needs to be changed because it doesn't match the pattern of user behavior. Issue number 3, it might be maybe you just haven't waited long enough. There is no hard and fast rule about this. I'm not going to say, wait 4 days and 2 hours and you're going to see success, because the search rank is so fluid and flexible. Just don't expect things to ping up on the first page of results right away. Be patient, be realistic. Check out the video linked in the description below with more information about instability on the platform and what to expect realistically. Number 4 issue, really, really hard to hear, but super, super common. If you're an existing seller who has seen a sudden dip in your impressions and you're freaking out, it might be from bad internal feedback. Your internal feedback and your internal metrics of your performance are overwhelmingly one of the top factors in your search rank position. Because obviously the platform wants to promote sellers who are delivering great outcomes for their clients. A win-win just promotes more winning. So even if a string of mediocrely satisfied comments aren't willing to roast you publicly in a review, maybe they didn't choose to leave a public review at all. They said, it's okay, I guess, thanks for your work, kind of, we'll just take it from here. Not glowing feedback, obviously. They may have roasted you privately in that private feedback just for the platform. And so maybe the site is penalizing you for it. And hey, maybe they're not even penalizing you for it. Don't think of it that way. It's just that they're promoting other sellers who are doing a better job. They're getting better outcomes. They have happier clients. They should be rewarded for that. Honestly, they should. So take a breath, think about how you can improve, and take this experience to heart. So how can you improve? What was lacking in the experience? Where were any miscommunication issues? How can you add value for your clients? Ultimately, how can you prevent this mediocre experience from happening again? Or even a blatantly bad experience. Maybe that was what it was. Maybe you did get roasted publicly. I don't know. But check out the video linked in the description below for more advice about what to do if and when you get a bad review. Okay, so if you're not getting impressions, right? We've talked about how to get impressions. We've talked about why you might not be. Let's talk about what not to do if you're not getting impressions. Don't create multiple gigs that all do the same thing. It's not allowed and it's just dumb. And also just don't delete your gig and start over. I've read people say you should do that. Don't. Ultimately, keep a level head and think about how are you going to best promote yourself to clients? What is going to be the best thing you can do to put yourself forward? And check out the video linked in the description below with more advice about my biggest Fiverr regrets, including when I deleted gigs. Don't do it. We interrupt this programming for 3 teensy little requests really quick. Number 1, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you are enjoying this content. Number 2, no matter how old this video is when you're finding it, please do drop a comment down below. I really do love reading and replying to thoughtful comments, and I do my best to really engage with you there in a meaningful way. So even if this video has been around for a while, please do drop a comment down below. And number 3, consider sharing this with a friend. Chances are someone in your life is looking for real, honest, and specific advice about how to build their side hustle or how to build a sustainable business doing what they love. So if you're enjoying this, share this with a friend and they might enjoy it too. Big number 2, we are looking at how to get clicks. Moving right along. I said that this was going to be massively in depth and I was not kidding. Ultimate tutorial, how to get clicks. Okay. So recently Fiverr took off the social clicks data. I was gonna go into a big spiel about this, but now that it's no longer visible, I guess it doesn't matter. But in short, I will say it is always valuable to leverage your audience off platform to drive traffic onto the platform. When you are able to control the audience, your visibility, your narrative off platform, and you're not just competing in search, obviously you'll have a better chance of converting those impressions into clicks. So like I briefly mentioned earlier, early June has been blissfully slow for me. I'm playing lots of Animal Crossing, I'm taking naps, I'm going for walks. I'm basically just enjoying my life with just a little bit less work. It's awesome, honestly. I needed a break and the universe delivered. So keep that in mind. My stats right now are a little lower than what I would consider normal, but this is what my backend looks like for the gig that I've been using and will continue to use as an example for this tutorial. So let's walk through all of the things that you can control and what the buyer sees when you show up in search, you have that first impression and you need to convince them to click. Here are the things that you have control over. Number 1, adding a video is so simple and so important, and it adds that little extra icon on your gig card, which can draw attention your way. Number 2, does your main gig image attract their attention? Does it stand out on the page? Does it reflect your professional personality? And is it easy to read and uncluttered? Those are the questions you need to be asking yourself. Here are a few real examples, sorry to the people that I'm calling out here, of what not to do. Typos. Huge mistake. Sloppy. Don't do it. Proofread. If you have the wrong image size, potentially it's a low quality graphic or design. If you're using stock photos, big no anyway, but definitely don't add logos or badges that can get your gig flagged. A generic photo with no text at all doesn't say anything, it doesn't stand out. You can also have too much text that is just hard to read. What you do want to do is you want to try to find the sweet spot. I'm not guaranteeing that my gig images are literal perfection, but yeah, they do work well for me. Okay, moving on, number 3. You can see that your carousel of gig images is available even before someone clicks to actually access your gig. This is another way that they can kind of engage with you without actually committing to clicking off, and it is yet another differentiator to set you apart visually from all of the other competitors that are crowding up the screen. Number 4, your profile image is super tiny here, but this still plays a role. Showing your face is a real, transparent, easy way to make a connection. And I don't recommend using the same photo over and over. That creates like a copy-paste kind of scammy red flag, especially if buyers are concerned about a seller potentially using a stock photo or a stolen photo and just not being transparently who they say they are. And yes, buyers actually really worry about this, and I've been told many times that this is a real concern that they have. Check out the video linked in the description down below for more advice about red flags that you should avoid in your branding. Number 5, your gig title is a huge important element. Can you add a word to better define the service that you're selling to attract the true kind of audience that you want to work with and to stand out? So as an example here, in the search people that showed up around me, you can see that some people said persuasive, expert, professional. Jan over here literally copied exactly what I said word for word. Not super cool, but whatever. Ultimately, you want to choose a gig title that is clickable, interesting, and best sums up what you do for your clients in a unique way. Number 6, your price. You do have control over that, and it is visible here. Super important. So clearly in the screenshot here, I am the most expensive, hands down, no question. I am targeting a specific kind of high-level buyer. So that narrows the playing field and gives me fewer opportunities for clicks. That's fine. That's what I want, honestly. So I have several videos about pricing strategies across my channel. Check them out in the description down below. But my best, most concise advice is this: charge what you're worth and match that with your professional branding. So if I claim to be this mega expert seller with 8 years of advice, top rated, pro, working with thousands of clients around the world, and then I'm selling bulk $5 prices, that's gonna raise a red flag in people's mind. Isn't she worth more than that? Why is it charged so low? And the same is true the other way around. If you're charging really high rates, but the credibility that you're putting out there does not match, and the visual branding does not look like a professional, that's going to cause a red flag. Your strategy is not going to work. And also with that in mind, I also recommend not just charging the exact same price as the other people in your category. Obviously, you're probably gonna have the same price as somebody, but do your best to differentiate yourself there so that you're not going literally head to head in direct competition against someone else. Number 7, obviously the number of reviews and your seller level, that's going to get better with time. You don't have explicit control over that, but you can see how many search perks I personally have as a Fiverr Pro seller. If you're a true professional with vetted skills that you can put in an application, 100% you should apply for Fiverr Pro. Check out the video linked in the description down below for more advice about the perks of being Fiverr Pro and the pros and cons. And number 8, last but not least, the last thing that you can control here to get from impressions to clicks. Do you see that little green dot there on my profile picture? Being online gives you a huge leg up in search, and it makes you seem approachable and ready to go. Plus, you get to use that little online sellers toggle at the top of the page. Huge. You do have to actively be online and clicking around, so don't just think that you can like leave your browser window open and just game the system. But being online is a great way to increase your odds of going from impressions to clicks. So if all of that is flawless and you're still not getting clicks, you're just getting impressions, but no one's clicking on your gig, what do you do? I'm honestly gonna go out on a limb here and say that there's probably still a bunch of things that you need to fix. And if not fix, then at least optimize. Ask yourself, are you really putting your absolute best foot forward to create the most confident, clickable, clear, and complete first impression? And do you even have a clear picture of the buyer that you want to work with? What is their budget? What kind of projects are they doing? Is there a niche? What is their dream process? What does their delivery period look like? If you don't know what they're expecting, it makes it much harder to answer that and appeal to them. So start there. And I know that that is vague advice, but honestly, there are so many things based on your individual situation that I can't just make a blanket statement, so I won't. This is where you have to use your own intuition and you have to put in the work. Big part number 3, we made it, you guys. Here is how to get Inquiry messages. So here's where they are in the journey. They have clicked on your gig, they are interested, but they are not yet ready to take the plunge and order with you. So instead, they're gonna send a message. Messages are both good and bad. Okay, yeah, most of the time they're just good. They're good across the board because it gives you an opportunity to set the groundwork with the client and also creates a little bit of a barrier for you to prevent them from ordering incorrectly or asking for something you don't offer, which would result in a canceled order. I'm gonna list kind of 3 valuable takeaways that you can get, the inside scoop, from 3 different kinds of client messages. The first is if people are sending you messages asking about your prices. They're saying, what is included in this package? How much does this cost? That is a huge clue into you that your pricing packages need work. Packages should be instantly understandable and easily scalable for them. I always recommend setting up your 3 packages to literally be scalable. So the way I think of it is basic is this, standard is this plus that, premium is this plus that plus those, right? The this is always consistent. It's just scaling either for length or size or extras. If your 3 packages look like 3 different services, then those 3 services should just be 3 different gigs. As clients are choosing a higher package, they should be getting services that is more comprehensive, not getting a different service. Number 2, if people are messaging you and asking about your experience or even questioning your credibility or are you really worth that, then you need to address that upfront in your gig description. I recommend creating a short, compelling bio up in the actual gig description, not just in your little seller description section. And that should reinforce your experience and skills by framing it for what you're going to do for the buyer. Always center everything around the deliverable value that they're actually going to receive, not just talking about you in an abstract sense. And number 3, if people are sending you messages asking about custom offers or asking about your availability to take on their specific project, you're golden, you guys. That is exactly what you want. Now you can confirm with them, you can recap the offer, and you can even direct them to place the order that they need to so that they are confident and ready to go. I should also note that not all buyers are going to message you, even if you put it in bold, you highlight it, you put stars around it, you slam it at the top of your gig description. Yeah, people are gonna ignore it. They're just gonna order. I have noticed that the higher your price point, that acts as a natural barrier and you get fewer unsolicited orders without people messaging you first. There are 2 main things that you can do to nudge them in the right direction and message you first. I would say the first is to be online as much as possible. Hey, we got more than one benefit for this one, because that green dot makes you look more approachable. And if someone thinks that they can get a quick reply from you, then they might be more willing to reach out to you first, versus if you're offline, then they're like, heck, they'll just deal with it when they see the order. And number 2 is to answer as quickly as possible. That response timer shows someone realistically how quickly you're gonna get back to them. I think your response time should ideally be 1 hour, no more than 3 max. And this is an all-time average, the statistic. So yes, it really does include weekends. It includes all the time you're asleep. It literally counts the average time that it takes to reply to the first inquiry message in the inbox. And you're gonna see a little clock pop up there next to the message that you need to answer and which is being timed. So I have 3 quick tips. I know there's a million lists in this thing, like I said. Ultimate guide. So personally, I message the people back who have the little clock timer first before going back to clients that I'm already in contact with. And this is literally just a matter of minutes here. I'm not ignoring anyone, but that does kind of have a priority approach for me. Number 2, I am so strongly and firmly a believer in a healthy work-life balance. Absolutely don't stress yourself out over this. 100% don't wake up in the middle of the night to answer your messages. You can, I do, have a blissful work-life balance and my response time is still 2 hours. Just make sure that when you are available during the day, that you are being attentive and you are answering them as quickly as possible. That alone will balance the scales for those times when you are unavailable or asleep. And number 3, I recommend so strongly to use the quick responses tool and set up messages that address all of the most common questions. So personally, I gear my quick response messages to the individual services that clients are inquiring about. And over the years, I have fine-tuned them, I have changed them so that I can easily adjust and alter those responses by just adding or deleting a quick section. So with that tool, I can get through a whole pile of messages literally in a couple minutes. And that's with sending complete, thoughtful responses to every single person. So check out the video link in the description down below for advice about how to most effectively use quick responses as a tool for your business. Guys, we've made it to big part number 4, how to get orders. If a client has come this far through the journey, congrats, it's time to celebrate. Your hard work is paying off. It is. So now you just have to get them across the finish line. For reference, I would estimate that about 80% of the people who seriously message me, so basically people who don't just say hi, they follow through with placing their order. Probably about 10% say that they have decided to go in a different direction. Maybe they don't need the project anymore, or they've decided to hire someone else. And probably 10% just never respond ever. And yeah, they just ghost me. But again, at my price point, I'm working with the kinds of buyers who are pretty much all the time doing their research. They're trying to, be proactive about finding a trusted partner that they can find real value with. At the lower end of the spectrum, you're probably going to notice a different vibe. And I have scaled up since 2013 from selling $5 packages to now selling $2,000 packages, right? I've seen every kind of buyer. I've seen it all. There literally is no single right way to build your business and manage client relationships and to convert orders. And it will likely change over time. I know that mine has. So how do you get people to commit and pay you and ultimately decide to place the order? How do you cross the final conversion hurdle? Here are the top 5 reasons that people tell me personally that they choose to work with me and they choose to place an order. First, a killer portfolio. Clients need to, not just want to, but need to know what they're going to get. And the best way to translate that is with a portfolio. There is a literal portfolio tool on Fiverr's platform, but I strongly recommend setting yourself up elsewhere. Fiverr does have a list of approved URLs that you can use off-site websites to create your portfolio and link to them, no problem, in your description. And if you're Fiverr Pro verified, you do get some extra flexibility and wiggle room on that. So for example, my own website, carrieblogger.com, that is not an approved URL. I'm not allowed to have independent contact information there. I can't link off of Fiverr and also have contact me with my email. But I am allowed to link there as a portfolio. And I can't say this enough times, I cannot recommend it enough, but you absolutely need to be using a portfolio. And no matter where you're posting it, make sure that your portfolio samples are vast in terms of style and clear in terms of your expectations. Side note, it's not really a portfolio at all. It's more of like a teensy tiny resume. You can also boost your on-platform credibility and help to get more orders by taking courses on Fiverr Learn. You can see that the platform is heavily promoting these courses based on where they put the feature on your seller page. It's even higher than your seller description for whatever reason. Well, I know the reason, they're promoting it. I personally have launched a course on Fiverr Learn about e-commerce copywriting, and you will get a badge on your profile if you choose to take it and complete it. So if you're interested in taking my course on writing, please be sure to check the link in the description down below. Number 2 reason people tell me explicitly that they choose to work with me: a transparent, trusted face. As a freelancer, you are the product, and if you are not the product, then you are at the very least the process. Fiverr's internal data has proved it. Fiverr team members say it over and over again. I've personally seen it. People hire people. They choose to work with me because they trust me. They know exactly who I am, without a doubt. Number 3, I offer clear, defined value. So I don't just say what I'm good at, I say what I will deliver for clients. When they order with me, they know exactly what they're going to get. Absolutely no question. And they know how it's going to positively impact their business. So instead of focusing on me, I explain myself, my skills, and my process, all within the lens of how it will help them. Number 4, a confident, unsalesy pitch. Honestly, I only want to work with clients if it's a good fit for them and it's a good fit for me. People really appreciate this candor, and people will come back to me later and say, hey, I know we didn't work together on that project, but we still want to work with you because you were honest and you told me it wasn't a good fit on the last one. And ultimately, when they do decide to order, they feel better about it and more secure and with a positive outlook because they decided it was good for them and I didn't push them into it. I offer really honest quotes. I'm super transparent about my process. I'm proactive about sharing links so they can do all of their research ahead of time and decide if I'm really the person that they want to hire. And overwhelmingly, I try to be direct and friendly without ever overselling. And number 5, people really praise a seamless ordering process, basically making it as easy as possible the whole way through. Every step should be seamless and directed for them to get to the next step. The formatting of your gig description really matters. It needs to be skimmable. It needs to be easy to read. Every question that they ask needs to be fully and completely addressed in your messages. Ideally proactively, even before they have to ask it. So when I tell a client, for example, that I'm ready to help them, they can place the order whenever they want, I always repeat the exact package that they're gonna purchase, and I include a direct link to the order. So they can literally just click right on that message, go there and place the order. Or I will just create a custom offer for them right in the inbox. This makes it even easier for them to just place the order right away. But this is not as ideal, especially for me, because I strongly, really want them to read the FAQ one more time before they place the order, or maybe for the first time if they haven't yet, although I keep telling them to. So I personally would prefer sending them directly to the gig page so that they have access to all that information before they place the order. And also, I try really hard to have a streamlined awareness of what the buyer sees on their end so that I can help point them in the right direction. If I say, you want to click the big green button over here, and if you're on the app, it's in this tab, like knowing what their side looks like, ordering a gig every once in a while so you can see the process is really important so that you can help them navigate that technical side of things and just get good service. I think that supportive process really starts before they place the order, and then it obviously bleeds through until the end. So one quick note, if you want to just bypass the impressions and clicks issue altogether and just get to the order, it's not really possible, but hey, there are two things you can do. You can reply to posts in the buyer request section. So here it's really honestly hidden up under the More tab in the top right of your menu. Also, honestly, it's not a long-term or really even good solution, but I'll talk about it. You'll notice very quickly that this part of the platform is pretty overlooked, unattended, and what I would call the cesspool of the platform. Typically, people are asking for ridiculous turnaround times, just absolutely unthinkably low rates, but at the very least, it does give you a little bit of control to kind of sidestep the crowd a little bit and just go directly to the buyer. I don't really recommend it, but check it out. Okay, it's literally dark because I've been talking for so long. Okay, the other way that you can skip impressions and clicks and just go straight to the order is, again, by drawing in your own audience and directing traffic directly to your gig from your offsite platform or audience or social media or wherever the heck you have people, you know. If you do this, I strongly recommend signing up for the Fiverr Affiliates program. That way you can take advantage of the BYOB program, which is bring your own buyers. And then you won't get charged commission from Fiverr for those first-time buyers that you bring onto the platform through a tracked link and then they order with you. Even if you don't drive the specific BYOB, bring your own buyer clients, even if they don't end up ordering from you, you can still earn some affiliate income for those first-time buyers or sellers. Speaking of, the links in my description down below are my affiliate links for Fiverr and also some for Amazon. So if you click on those, if you check them out, it does a huge favor for me on this channel. I'm offering this free content for you and you can do that for me. Doesn't cost you a thing. Okay, oh my God, if you're still here, if you are, I don't know who's here. You are my actual hero. Please comment down below and say I am your actual hero. You really are. So I covered so much information in this. I was not kidding. This is the ultimate guide. This is the ultimate tutorial. I did not cut anything out. Honestly, I'm so tired of all of the super vapid, superficial, ridiculous content that is being posted on YouTube, especially for freelancing, especially for Fiverr. It's all, unrealistic, undetailed, and like a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm losing my voice now I've been talking so long. So yeah, I'm sick of all that. I assume you are too. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. Honestly, it means the world to me. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below if you haven't already. Remember, please, people, you are worth more than your workload. You are so important. You are so valuable. You are deserving of respect. So make sure you ask for it and make sure you earn it. Okay, let's get back to work.